Hope you're having a tremendous Friday. Hope all is well with you and
Yes.
yours.
Please let us know where you're streaming from this
And
evening.
you can tell we're not at home. We are at church.
Yes.
Um, just working, just working.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know if y'all know. My name is Jomo,
I'm Charmaine.
and we come together on Friday nights with real and raw,
And
relevant
relevant
conversation
conversation.
pertaining to relationships.
Did you like that?
Hey, it's all good, and it doesn't matter what I like. That's what it is.
Mm.
Anyway,
Well,
as I was reading, I like to read. I read a lot of news and stuff, and usually I'll send, if I read an article or listen to something, I send something over to my wife that I think may be relevant or pertinent.
right.
To
You're
sit-
very well read.
Yes. Part of that is how you become a good teacher.
Right.
You have to read a lot.
Right.
And I wasn't a good reader, but now,
Educate yourself.
yeah, you have to constantly be feeding yourself. So
Right.
in the midst of me reading,
Uh-huh.
I read an article about relationships and how people are navigating through this new season. People are talking about
Right.
inflation. The interest rates are higher than they've ever been in a very, very
Right.
long time.
They said we're coming into a huge recession.
They say that that we don't have recessions in our life, but my premise,
Right.
that's what they're saying. So when you have all these things happening, there's layoffs, there's recessions, there's price increases on a lot of areas. There may be situations that come into your life where you may have to reassess some things.
Right.
You may have to reanalyze it. So in tonight's conversation, we want to talk about two things: how to handle when money's going down, and how to handle when money's going up.
Right.
So
right.
either way, because
And we've had both
Correct.
in our relationship
Correct.
throughout our marriage.
Absolutely. So there's always a win.
Right.
What I don't care whether the market's going up or down. They say the rich get richer in a down market.
Mhm.
So right now, the folks that got money, they about to make more money.
Right.
So it's so key that you understand where you are in this shift and how you analyze it.
Make the proper adjustments.
Correct. And so, like Charmaine said, when football was finished with me, we had to make a downsize.
Right.
We had to shift dramatically.
And I think we did a really great job.
I think we did all right.
You did?
Well, I mean,
Well, if you were to analyze
transparency.
some things that we could have done better,
Well, here's what
would you say
example.
that
Okay,
would be?
this is going to be 100% real, raw, and relevant.
Right.
Okay, so we moved. We were supposed to move back to Phoenix, and but we couldn't afford a Phoenix.
Yeah.
Real
So
talk.
we rented our house out.
So that's a big one, y'all. We couldn't afford the mortgage on the house.
Right.
So versus us bleeding, we rented it out below market.
Right.
And so we had to subsidize that, and then we stayed with her parents.
Right.
This is transparency. I'm trying to help you. Throw the pride out the window.
Right.
Throw the pride out the window. It's a momentary light affliction. So sometimes you have to make some strategic moves to survive the storm.
Right.
So our house was too much for us. We were house poor.
And I got a job.
And we got jobs.
Yeah.
We rented a house out, and we stayed with our parents for a certain season. After that season, we got a 2-bedroom apartment.
In Orlando.
In
the hood. We didn't get a nice apartment. Like
no, we did not.
Some of you, because of pride, won't allow yourself to make a downward shift in order to have a vision of something better later. Because the thing is if you have a high rent and you're not making a lot of money, you're not going to be able to save.
Correct.
So how are you ever going to get out of the situation if you get yourself into a situation where you're living month to month?
Now, I want to give her kudos because some may think that she is high maintenance. She can be, but she can also know when to shift.
Right.
And she shifted. I am so impressed with her shift. I mean, it was incredible.
Right.
It was incredible. I mean, chick got 3 jobs. I mean, she's a real Jamaican. So my point to you is she did
got
what
a
she
job
had.
in that season. There was no getting nails
No,
done, getting
no.
hair
Kill
done,
all that.
getting pedicures.
No.
There was no going to the movies.
Yeah, we killed all that.
Paying for the movies.
So,
we would go to the movies for free.
Yeah.
You know, we would do free things.
Correct. And so in that season, we understood what it took to get out of it. So we did a 1-year lease there.
Right.
We moved to a better place after we saved a little bit more money.
Right.
Did another 1-year lease there. Then we moved to Riverview.
We had a good amount of savings
by
that time.
Yeah. Then we moved to Riverview. Did another 1-year lease.
That's right.
So now that's 3
3
years of 1-year leases at apartments.
Building ourselves back up.
Correct. And then maybe 6 months at her parents' house.
Right.
So now this is 3.5 years
Right.
of leasing.
Right.
Right. We put money down in the house. That was another 9 months. So now the transition from one house to another house was almost 4 to 5 years of re-establishing ourselves.
Right. And a few of those years we didn't have cable.
Yes.
We
no car
really
notes.
sacrificed. We didn't have any car notes.
We bought a car cash.
Jomo would cook and he would clip coupons and do different things.
BOGOs. So we say this because sometimes people see you here and don't understand. We've been through bankruptcy. We've been through foreclosure. We've been through repossession. We've had our water cut off. We've been in the bathroom one time on our knees going from credit card to credit card, robbing Peter to pay Paul. And I say all this because sometimes I believe people don't understand what we've been through. Right.
And we were very strategic in that season too, because even the jobs that I got, two of the jobs was working at the apartment complex that we lived in. So I could get half of my rent discounted. Free cable and free water.
Yes, Lord.
And that really helped us save because we could have paid the full rent.
Correct.
But we were able to just put that money in savings every month because we didn't have to pay rent on,
Correct.
We only
so
had half of our rent.
Understanding the season you're in.
Right.
And understanding season shift.
That's it.
This was only a temporary season.
That's right.
So we made these moves to navigate that season. So let me give you some points.
Okay.
Number one, we must identify what's necessary. Okay. Power, water, food.
Right.
Necessary. Okay. Cut anything that's not survival.
Right.
We didn't have cable.
Right.
I know some may think, it's a different time.
Oh my God, you didn't have cable?
Well, there's streaming services now. There's not a lot of ways to get around that. Number three, once we identify what's necessary, then we must identify from the necessaries, what can we curtail? We need food, but you may have to cut going out.
Right.
One nice dinner is a week's worth of food.
That's right.
So it's maybe something you can curtail there. Improve our shopping habits. I became the shopper.
Yeah.
Now, she can shop, but I shop differently.
Yeah. He does shop better than I do. He gets better deals.
Yes.
So.
Okay. Number 6 or number 5, well, cut going out. Already said that. The next one is identify what's the best time to use power. We cut our power bill by identifying,
we found out that the power company actually charges you more money during the day to run certain things. So instead of us washing our clothes during the day, we would wash them late at night because you're saving on power.
Correct. So what you do is right before you watch your last show, put a wash in. Before you go to bed, put in a dryer. So now you did both. You can do a load a night, cut your power bill dramatically. It's small little incremental things you got to do.
It builds up.
Then the next thing might be you might rent out a room. My mother did this in her house. When things got tight, she rented the room out. And so my point is you have to be creative and ingenuitive. Is that a word? Ingenuitive?
I don't know, but I understand what you mean.
Anyway, praise the Lord. But you got to be creative in reference to that. Okay, so that's on the way down.
Right.
Now, let's talk about on the way up. Right. Now, on the way up, go ahead, Mama.
On the way down, don't complain and get into arguments, little petty arguments about money. Establish what you're going to do, what you're going to sacrifice, and don't complain about it. Don't talk to your friends about it.
Yeah, what you can.
Right. When you're in a valley, and I don't even consider it a valley, like I call it war. And you have to be a team.
Yes.
Your husband and yourself, you're a team. It's not time to talk. It's not time to complain.
Let's just
It's not time for us to teach each other. It's time to get your gun, load up, and
start firing.
It's
funny. That's kind of like with the thing I was telling you last night about the couple, the reality TV couple that now that money's tight, they want a divorce. But, there was mismanagement.
Right.
And they don't know how to go down. See, some people know how to live up, but don't know how to live down.
Right.
And money shouldn't be even though it is a true, we should be able to navigate through this season, understanding it's just temporary.
Right.
This is not permanent. So,
all right.
On the way up, here's the key thing. You have to be mindful of lifestyle creep. Lifestyle creep is a terminology meaning when you get a pay raise, you raise all your expenses so that even though you got a pay raise, your life has not improved.
Right.
So one of the key things, like for example, Charmaine and I, our mortgage has been the same for the last decade.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. But our financial means have increased dramatically.
Right.
But we have not increased how much we spent.
Mm-hmm.
Our car notes have gone down.
Right.
Our income has gone up.
Right.
Our saving has gone up. Our giving has gone up.
Mm-hmm.
So what are you saying? Just because you make more doesn't mean you have to spend more.
That's
When
good.
you make more, you should invest more.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to say it again. When you make more, you should invest more. So you get a pay raise,
Mm-hmm.
a bonus. Number one, don't do nothing. Just sit on it. Let it get normal. Here's what I do. There was a time where we had $5,000 in the bank, okay? I consider that zero. Okay? Then maybe 10, 15, 20, $30,000. My point is reset your mind that
Right.
that money is zero. So now your baseline is 10,000 is zero to you. Now for some it's 50, some it's 100, whatever the number is, you make that your new zero.
Right.
I will never go below this number ever again in life.
Mm-hmm.
It shifts your whole mind. Praise
Right.
God. Number two, reassess your budget. Reassess your budget.
Right. One of the things that we did as we were going up was we wanted to save a certain amount where if Jomo lost his job, I lost my job, no money was coming in, we could live the same lifestyle we were living for X amount of months. So our first goal was 90 days.
Mhm.
Then it was 6 months. Then it was a year. Then it was a year and a half. So we just kept building on that because the more you can do that, the more security you have.
Correct.
And then you have an emergency fund. Now, your emergency fund and your savings, for me, is two different things. Because your savings, that's investments. Your what did I say? Savings and
Emergency fund.
Your emergency fund is if your air conditioning goes out,
Yeah.
your car gets a flat tire, your car needs a transmission. You know, those things should not totally empty out your savings. If your savings and your emergency is the same thing, then it's going to be a problem.
You have, well, everyone's
what are you
structure,
thinking?
no, you didn't say anything wrong. So I'm just giving you an example. Say your monthly expenses are $7,000 a month for all your expenses.
Okay.
So to have 3 months means you need to have 21,000 saved.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. To have 6 months, it means you need to have 42,000 saved.
Right.
So that's kind of how you think. So our goal was to have a year's worth of living expenses. Then we went to 2 years, and then it just kept on going. And meaning, our goal is that if something hit the fan,
Right.
or rocks, we could sit home for 3 years, and everything will be paid.
Right.
Now, something that's crazy. No, after you've been through bankruptcy and foreclosure, you will learn that you better save.
Right.
And so we've lived below our means for so long. I was talking to my financial planner, and he just bought a Rolls Royce.
Mm-hmm.
Rolls Royce, and it's clean, dude. It's clean.
Nice.
Oh my gosh! It has the orange interior with the RR behind his head. So we were just talking. I said, so how much do you have to make to feel comfortable buying that? You listen, it don't hurt to ask questions, okay?
Right.
Don't start hating and send me no email. I said, I asked the question because I want to know. So I said, bro, what's the payment on it? He said $6,800.
The payment.
The payment on his car is $6,800. Now, he got plenty of money, so I ain't hating. I said,
Wow.
God, six. Anyway, my premise to you, I was like, okay. I said, help me understand what I can afford. Now, I'm a grown man, but I like to talk to people who deal with money every day. I said, because I want to make sure that I don't make the mistakes I used to make. So we just talk, and this is just conversation. He said, well, Jomo, as a business grows, he says, I don't make my car payment. This business that I bought, it pays the car payment.
Right.
So it's not even an expense for me. The business pays for it. He has like 15 businesses, which I love. So you can buy what you want. Here's a better way to say it. Use a business to pay for your toy.
Right.
And don't pay for your toy out of your own money.
A lot of people have that same theory just in life, period. if you want to have something that's going to cost a monthly bill, you have to make something has to make enough money to produce that bill versus you having to get a pay raise and you using your whole pay raise
build
to
something
then
that
upgrade
pays
your car.
Right. Next thing I think about, y'all, is taxes. See, we know we got the pay raise, but the man gonna tax you if you're an employee.
Right.
If you're an employee,
and if you go up in your tax bracket,
yeah,
you're gonna pay more.
You have to think about that. Okay, pay down all bad debt. Now, bad debt is high interest things. Pay down all bad debt. Okay, next thing I would do, increase your savings. Then increase your giving.
Right.
Then increase your retirement.
That's important. And when you increase your retirement, figure out what the inflation is.
Yeah.
What is the inflation rate?
Correct. And if you have money after that, then it's time to play.
Right.
But notice how many things I included before I talked about even thinking about a car or a house. Stack your money up.
What do you think about people that if they have like money in their house and they do a line of credit for their house in order to pay off like credit cards or pay off what?
The battery's about to die.
Oh, I didn't realize. Okay. I didn't know what that meant.
I know I wasn't trying to.
Never mind, you guys.
If it cuts off, the battery died. Okay, so we're just gonna ride it out until it happens. So you asked about money in the house. Come on, baby, come on.
Yeah, you know where I was going with it. So what do you think about that? Do you think that's good? Like if you were to get a line of credit on your house in order to pay off all your credit cards, pay off your car, and then you have this one payment,
it's a
lower interest rate.
It's not a bad thing if you do it. A lot of people take a line of credit, pay everything off, and then get the debt again.
Oh no.
They're not disciplined. So a lot of people refinance, but then use the money, mismanage it, and you're back to the same spot.
Right.
If you're going to do that, you have to do right by that.
Because sometimes that could be a way to lower the interest rates for your credit cards and stuff like that and still be able to pay it off faster, right?
The challenge is if you're not careful, when you refinance, they start your loan back at 30 years. Okay. You might be 7 years into your loan, meaning now you're paying down the interest, you're paying down the principal. But when you refinance, it starts you back to 30 years. So now you're paying more interest for longer.
Okay.
So you have to understand what you're doing. Right. It's not a bad thing if the money you're taking out can make money.
Right.
Or reduce bills, but you cannot get the debt back.
Right.
And still didn't do anything with the money.
Okay, well, I'm done.
We hope this helped you. we love talking to you and sharing because I believe that. Amen.
Love, laugh, and learn.
Love y'all. God bless. Oh, well, that's about right.